being, again, if they're rotating players down for the run support, the bubble screen, the speed option, the power read, the zone read, and they're bringing players down, we believe we have a chance to get by them on a vertical pass. The biggest thing for us when we go verticals, if we're going 4 verticals, we need our players to understand we have 4 vertical landmarks. So whether we're lined up in a 2x2 set, if we're in a 3x1 set, basically the landmarks we want them to understand is basically the outside receiver, we want him on the bottom of the numbers. That gives a quarterback basically room for leverage to throw the ball to his outside where he can fade away to go get it and wall off the defender. We want the 2 inside receivers pushing basically to the hash +2. The toughest route is the number 3 guy when we're in a trip set and he's coming to the backside hash. We tell him find the fast track. I don't care if he's over the linebacker, under the linebacker, he's finding the fastest path to basically get 17 yards on this backside on a hash mark. The front side, he can adjust his alignment, but he is going to be at the hash +2 is where we're telling them when they get into the vertical landmarks. So we're bottom of the numbers, hash +2, hash +2, bottom of the numbers. So again, we want our players to adjust, and you'll see multiple formations that we utilize, but we want them to understand exactly what we're seeing in the vertical passing game. We have a couple of adjustments that basically, if we're seeing a lot of true cover 2, we will have the outside guys working a little bit more of the true hole shot with the inside receivers working more of a bend. So anytime there's a safety over the top of our H-back or the number 2 receiver, one of the designated receivers, we will convert to basically a deep dig on the inside. But to start with, we just want to look at getting the ball vertical. We'll look at the adjustments later on in our teaching progression. If we're working with just 2 vertical seams, one of the things you'll see on the tape, we love to get teams that want to overplay the corners and overlap to the inside and play basically 1-high defenses. Then what we do is simply make a tag call where we have our outside receivers basically are now running the deep out. We want that in that 14 to 16 yard area so that they are pushing vertical as hard as they can, selling that they're running the takeoff, get that corner overplaying inside and opening up the outside throw basically for the quarterback to put that on the sideline area in that 14 to 16 yard area. Our vertical game has been great for us when we get into the 4 verticals, into the 2 verticals, and then especially attacking the outside. The other thing that we have done now in the last couple of years is really where we tie in even more of a 3 vertical concept. In the 3 vertical concept, and I'll start here with the trips, we generally like to tie in a crossing route with that. Now what we tell them is he can even come across even farther. Once he gets to this far side, we tell him he is running exactly like in our play action where we had the far cross. We want him, he can continue to climb and just take this route here where he's going into open space on the back side. We keep the front side exactly the same. They're running vertical seams. That way if we get the cover 3, we know we're putting major stress on this safety with the seam here, far cross on the backside. On a crossing route, what we generally do is now we'll take the far side receiver and he's running the shallow cross. Basically for teams that want to bail everybody out, he becomes a check down. In this particular route, we tie in part of our 2-man game, but it's automatically built in with that running back because we'll have running back check his protection, and then he is actually going to be coming out on that flare route, just like he would be running that flare and that wheel. And so he is going to be putting stress on this backside corner or linebacker, giving us either a matchup on the linebacker or basically if he's get that corner holding, opening up the throw down the field. You're going to see a couple of examples of this on the video as well. So we like to have opportunities for 4 vertical. We like to have the 2 vertical with basically deep outs on the outside, or we like to get to where we're running 3 verticals and tie it in with a crosser.